Hey beauties, welcome back. Do not come for me, my voice is going out. But, I'm like, what do healed people do? They get to work, so this is me in all my glory. But it's just a little Sunday chat, wanting to just help us stay on the right track because this is a growth community and help us, focus on ourselves and focus on our growth and focus on where we're going. There's so much going on right now in the world and the media and whatnot. And with decisions that are being made, you have, a group of people who are very hurt and who are very, they feel some type of way. And then you have another group of people who are excited and rejoicing. And, I'm like, one thing I feel as a person is that you can't allow yourself to be taken with what's going on in the world, I feel like there are people who are very happy with decisions that are being made, especially against women, because they think that's like a godly thing to do. It's a biblical thing to do. And but the way they present themselves, I feel, is very off-putting, very unloving, very in a sense demonic, like you're calling yourself a believer, a Christian, a follower of Christ, but then you're out here calling other people names for thinking a certain way or for even wanting this, pointing in someone's finger, laughing like, haha, God always gets the last laugh. But guys, we have to remember people don't care about God in this country, like we have not given our country over to the Lord. So just because a decision was made, which was honestly possibly made because whoever is in power of making this decision is just so tired of it being brought up, time and time again. So they're like, whatever, just, give the people what they want. They're just giving people, the loudest group of people, what they think they want, They just don't want to be responsible for making the decision, for making the outcome. They don't want to have any responsibility or have a result of something being weighed on their shoulders. So it's like, well, let's just have them make the decision, and whomever they choose, however that decision turns out, then at least we could wash our hands of it. So they don't care about you regardless, and so I feel as though, in spite of everything, guys, you have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on your growth. You have to focus on where you're going. And you have to focus on your intentions. You have to focus on what does it mean to laugh at someone else's pain, laugh at someone else's hurt, laugh at someone else's failure. I feel like a lot of times we place ourselves on a pedestal of thinking we got it all together, and that could be because you maybe you have a routine, you do specific activities, you just think you got it all together, and you're almost too quick with the mouth because you're like, that would never happen to me. And that is where you're completely wrong, because you never honestly know what you're gonna do or what you would do until you are confronted with that situation, until you're actually in that situation. And so regardless if you feel one way or another way about certain things, keep your feelings to yourself and just focus on, okay, how can I be a person of impact? How can I be a person of influence? One major thing that I feel like should be a reminder to everybody is that, say you're a believer and you're really, really excited over the Roe versus Wade decision being overthrown, if you are a believer and that's something that you're excited about, you have to sit back and actually think, is it an excitement that you have because in scripture you think this is an abomination, or is it an excitement that you have because children won't be killed? You know, like, lock down where you feel your excitement or where your pleasure from, or even where maybe your squared shoulders are coming from, because we all have to remember God is a gracious God. God is a loving God. God is a God who is not pointing finger. God is a God who is not about rule keeping. You know, God is a God who loves us so much that he sent his son to take on all the burdens, the pains, the fears, the everything that you couldn't even measure up to, so that you could be free from it. So then you can have a choice to choose him, you know? And I think that's the beauty in life, even the beauty of being a Christian, of knowing that everything is available for you to do, but not everything is right for you to do. And don't we love it more when someone desires to be with us, or someone desires to choose us simply because they want us, instead of them choosing us based off of certain rules and regulations of what they can and can't do, you know? So if you're excited over certain rules and regulations that have been made, lockdown, why are you excited about that? Because if people are being stripped of their rights and what they want, do you think that that is something that God would desire for his children to have to fall in line to have to fall in line with something, because if you don't, you're going to be punished? Or do you think that's something that God would want for his children to be mature and be an adult and understand, like, okay, I can do this. You know, this did happen to me. These were the circumstances, but I know my God is greater, so I'm going to do this. Like, which one do you really think that he's in? Because he has given us free will. Like, if he wanted us to be a people led by rules and regulations and dictation, then everybody would be a Christian. Everybody would be going to heaven. You wouldn't have a choice of Judaism, Muslim, you know, Buddha. You wouldn't have that. That wouldn't be a choice. And so the fact that the Lord does give you choices so then you can freely choose, that is more meaningful than saying, like, you better do that, or if you don't do that, you're gonna die. You know, like, begin to really understand the nature of who God is, not just know about God, but know who he is. That's completely different. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of y'all who know about me, but it's completely different from my brother who knows me. You know, like, we have nicknames, we have inside jokes. I could be saying something or looking a certain way, and he can know if I'm happy, if I'm mad, if I'm sad. He can even know what type of places I'm gonna go to or be attracted to or whatever, because he knows me. He doesn't just know about me. He hasn't just read about me. He hasn't just watched me and spent no time with me and made an assumption about what he thinks I like and what I don't like. And 9 times out of 10, when people do that, you're completely wrong. You know nothing about the person. And so just food for thought, you know, because I know we're starting off, it's Sunday, happy Sunday. But for the rest of your week, you know, be very mindful of conversations that you have when you talk to people, even sharing your opinion. You guys, a lot of times, sometimes it's just better to be silent and smile. You don't always need to give your advice. You don't always need to give your opinion. To be real, no one cares. No one cares. You're not the dictionary. You're not the encyclopedia. You're not the know-it-all. Nobody cares about your opinion. you know? So just keep it to yourself. Focus on yourself. Focus on where you need to grow. Focus on where you may have some arrogant tendencies, some self-consciousness, some, self-righteousness, some blame. Like, focus on what you need to better yourself in, instead of, being on this bandwagon or marching parade of just laughing or pointing in others' faces because you think you won. Like, at the end of the day, the only person who wins is the Lord. And if things aren't done out of, grace and love and maturity and kindness, then why are we really doing it? Like, if you call yourself someone who follows Christ, but then you secretly backbite someone or shame someone or laugh at someone, or that's what you get someone, come on, do you think that that's the Lord's character? Do you think that if you're doing that at a table, he would be sitting right next to you like, you're the favorite? Like, no, he would be like, that's not my nature. Like, let's go help them. Let's help them see truth. Since you have so much to say, speak truth to power, But I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great week. And I hope you guys take this and just allow it to feed your soul, and just allow us to all think and grow in the right direction. Bye, guys.